We shift down to the border where, man, our Border Patrol, we have Border Patrol agents that have now been removed from the border. There's Horse Patrol, which has happened along our border, the southwest border, for decades. Like Horse Patrol and use along rugged terrain, including like river areas and things like that, is a staple of border enforcement. And they are trained. It's not like you don't go from the Border Patrol Academy and they'll be like, who likes horses? Here you go. You get to name this one. And you hop on and then just like go to town and ride it wherever you want. It's not how it works. This is a specialized, trained group of individuals to utilize the horses, just like many, many cities. We have it here in Detroit. I don't know if you did you have mounted patrol in Raleigh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had a horse patrol.
So you have horse patrol. It's Columbus has it. NYPD has it. I think virtually every major city has horses as mounted patrol for a couple of reasons. One, there are many areas of older towns that the streets aren't actually optimal to move motor vehicles down, or they have areas where cars park, and then there's like old streets where cars aren't even on there, and they use mounted patrol in there, crowd control, that kind of a thing. And horses are big, dangerous animals. You got like some 1,200-pound beast. It's essentially Tansy in animal form, and it's hard to control, and they're dangerous. You could kill children if left unchecked.
Sure.
So here they are along the border, and we have this insane surge of up to 15,000 people trying to get across in Del Rio, Texas, making this makeshift tent city with tons of crap and other diseases. I mean, we're talking smallpox, chickenpox, measles, AIDS. I don't know, man. It's everything that you don't want coming into the country. By the way, you should know that there's a mysterious amount of people missing, like to the tune of 3,000 people from some of these places. And they're getting dropped off in the middle of the night. Cops are reporting, like in Dallas, for example, seeing a busload of people just dropped off who don't belong here. And they're not getting COVID tested, while the government is trying to mandate that certain employees and people are mandating that you're tested or vaccinated. All these people who are coming in from God knows where are being dumped into our society without any of those requirements, without even a requirement to like actually be allowed to be here. So I could go on this tangent forever. I'm talking too much. We have Border Patrol. Have you seen them getting whipped? Have you seen these people getting whipped, Tansy?
Yeah. Well, I don't even like to see them getting whipped, because they didn't get whipped.
There's not a single image of someone being whipped, but that's the narrative. Not a single one. Not one.
We like to blame false narratives in the false media, and we blame certain people for believing things and not believing things and saying that they're being duped by fake news. Well, this article generated through Al Jazeera. The Al Jazeera network is who generated this. And guess what? All of those people that shit on other people for believing fake news, they have totally bought into this, including Maxine Waters.
Our top stories of the night.
Maxine
One man
Waters
beat his wife for not wearing her head covering. And also, Americans are whipping Haitians at the border.
Yeah. You've
Back
got
to you.
Maxine Waters went on all this. Senator Jeff Merkley, he tweeted out, use of whips on refugees, disturbing and unacceptable. This must end immediately. Again, once you guys find out and you see the video, none of this was true. These guys are all going to look like dumbasses. Ryan Devereaux, Border Patrol agents on horseback, cracking whips and charging into crowds of Haitian asylum seekers in Texas, shouting at them to go back to Mexico. Strong reporting on the situation in Del Rio here. And then the last but not least, Chuck Schumer, Senator Chuck Schumer, which again, part of the whole insurrection thing on our January 6th episode. If you look at that, has a lot to do with Chuck Schumer as well. He tweets out, the images of inhumane treatment of Haitian migrants by Border Patrol, including the use of whips, are unacceptable. They are fleeing violence.
No one got whipped.
No one seeking protection. in our country. The administration must uphold our refugee laws and stop Title 42 deportations. And here's where I have a problem with all of this, Mike, is that this is all fake news. They know it is fake news.
They know they're lying.
They know that
this
isn't right. But what we have learned is if you put it in the media and you tell enough people, if 65% of the people hear it, but only 30% hear the apology, you still have a very large number of human beings that still believe that this news was actually true. And of course, they're going to keep spreading it and spreading it and spreading it. So this is
totally deliberate. You don't get this mistakenly wrong and then run with it this long in the face of literally not a single shred of evidence that a Border Patrol agent, A, had a whip, and B, whipped anyone. There's not a single shred of evidence. Nothing. But this is they're blasting it out as though it is fact. This is complete nonsense. This is some freaking 1970s and 80s Russian propaganda shit. This is nuts. I'm sick of it, dude.
I mean, and I would say the right does just as much of this type of pandering to folks and blowing things out of proportion. I'm not trying to
in another direction. They certainly can.
They will, and I think, but I think the problem here is the media. I mean, this is the issue. You have the media that's being controlled by two systems that are literally just. And we've seen this in every
journalism
case.
is supposed to give us information.
Absolutely,
not give us a side. Give us information.
Exactly, and we've proven that with the Breonna Taylor case, where we showed you just how wrong the media was there on both sides. I mean, I think the Derek Chauvin trial, we showed you, why is the Fox News saying that the toxicology is one thing, CNN saying it's the other, and both are wrong. And 2 C students at best get on this podcast and give you the actual real information. Why is the media so wrong? And why are they allowed to keep doing this? Why do we put up with it?
Why does it take 2 idiots like us to tell you something that's blatantly obvious? I don't know.
So let's just go ahead and listen to what Maxine Waters has to say about this case. Again, knowing now that this is all fake, this is all not real. There were no rips. You can talk to any country person, any human being that rides horses, and I'll let you know how a horse works.
How did thousands of Haitians get from an island south of Florida to the Del Rio Mexican-Texas border? There's something else going on here. Many of these so-called Haitians have been gone. It's old English. I've talked to people who are in the know that are informing me on, I guess, the down low or whatever the right term would be, under the cover of anonymity, that a lot of these so-called Haitians have not been in Haiti for a long time. They have kids with them that are quote unquote Haitians because they were born to Haitians, but never even been on the island. And they have passports from other Central or South American countries, heard that our government was going to treat Haitians well and let them in. So they flocked to the border with the other immigrants making a run in Del Rio.
And these are things that the media should be putting out. These are things that the news that the people want to know. We want to understand what's going on the border, because if you don't understand what's going on the border, then how can we fix it? Right now, we're not trying to fix it. What we're trying to do is create divisiveness. And that's why we're about to play this thing for Maxine Waters. I mean, this right here is this proof that they're trying to create animosity and trying to create things that don't exist. Can you play that tape?
Yvette Clark. And I want to thank Ms. Beatty for the leadership that they're providing on this issue. I'm pissed. I'm unhappy.
And
I'm not just unhappy with the cowboys.
What cowboys? They're called Border Patrol agents.
Haitians and using their reins to whip them. I'm happy with the administration.
Me too.
We are following
the
Trump policy. He is the one that does not follow the Constitution and would not allow those seeking refuge to be able to petition to get into the country. What the hell are we doing here?
Good question, Maxine.
What we witnessed
what are you doing?
Takes us back hundreds of years. What we witnessed was worse than what we witnessed.
Can you stop it? Can you stop it right
Cowboy.
there? Can you stop it? What you witnessed here, just stop the tape. I want to keep playing it, but pause it. What you saw here was worse than slavery. I mean, I would be so fucking offended if I was a slave or had relatives that were a slave, because no fucking way was that worse than slavery. Maxine, I think you're so delusional at this point that you have no idea the atrocities of slavery. And a lot of those atrocities didn't even happen just here in the United States.
A career politician making 175,000 plus a year off of me is telling us that we just got set back hundreds of years, and this is worse than slavery. Took us back It took us back to last week when we still had horses patrolling the border.
It's great. Again, this is all news that's trying to evoke. She's trying to get emotions out of you, because if you read the facts, if you just read the case on how it is, there's no emotion there, and they gain nothing from it. But if we start using theatrics and political theatrics and media theatrics and really just drive this case similar to how they did with the Breonna Taylor case, if we really just use all of the things to kind of dilute the actual facts, then maybe we have a story. Hit play.
With their reins again, whipping
not true
black people,
lies.
Haitians into
lies.
The water where they're scrambling and falling down when all they're trying
don't
to
come
do
into the country
is
then
escape
we're a
from
sovereign
violence
nation
in their country. Yes, it is unfortunate that it is the poorest country in this hemisphere. It is unfortunate that they have no stable government right now. It is unfortunate that they've had to live through earthquakes. I've been working with Haitians for 30 years. I've been working through 2 coups d'etats. I went to the Central African Republic and I brought back Aristide after he was exiled into the Central African Republic. They have always been between Canada and France and the United States treated worse than anybody else. And so, yes, we are here and we're organized and we're saying to the president and everybody else, you got to stop this madness. And I want to know in the first place, who's paying these cowboys to do this work?
The taxpayers. They're Border Patrol agents.
They've gotten to be stopped. It cannot go on. And so I thank all of you for being here today. Write the story. Tell the story.
We are telling the story
about what is going on. And let people know that they're trying to take us back to slavery days and worse than that. And the children who are unfortunate to be in this situation must be allowed into the United States immediately. Not tomorrow, not next week, not next month, but immediately. Yeah.
Oh, man, that's a lot of rich women, a lot of really well-to-do women with lots of very expensive haircuts. And, you know, if you're going to stand behind Maxine Waters with your chin diaper around your chin, why even have it in the first place? Thank you for the virtue signaling there, everybody. What I gathered from all of this is, when do we cancel the Dallas Cowboys? I've never liked them as a team, appreciated them.
Who is letting these Cowboys run rampant over everything? Get rid of the Cowboys.
We don't need dim boys. You know what I'm saying? Get rid of the Cowboys.
Who's paying for the Cowboys to play anymore anyway?
Make the Steelers great again.
Oh my gosh. It's just,
she makes me soft.
Oh yeah. It's like Lightfoot and Pelosi had a baby in a test tube, and out came Maxine Waters, all wrinkly and old and lifelong in politics. I don't know.
I mean, to call that slavery again, and to call Donna Scott the biggest embarrassment again, this is all just gross theatrics, to separate you from the police, to divide the country from respecting the police, from not welcoming the police's their jobs. It's all a game, and the fact that we all watch it, and I'm glad we have this show that we get to kind of go through and kind of right the wrongs and so, because this isn't the case. There was nobody whipped. There was nobody whipped.
That's what our show should be. Just every week. Every week we just pick the top 5 news stories and just show why they're all bull crap, especially when they involve law enforcement. Oh my gosh, you could just sit here and correct every day.
Easy.